Right, so Paul, the first thing I'm going to ask you is, you're sporting a beard. This seems to be a bit of a regular occurrence now for pre-season. Is there any reason to it, or is it just something that you do?
Oh no, it's just something that I've done for about 4 or 5 years now. Sort of get me through the rigours of pre-season. Just sort of grow it from the day one, and then on the last day sort of cut it off. It seems to make the time go a little bit quicker, but that's the only reason. Nothing other than that, really.
Right, so your season last year was a little bit curtailed through injury, and probably you got going as the season ended. How did you see the end of the season and now going into pre-season?
Yeah, like you said, I had a bad neck injury last year. I was out for 4 months with that. Then my first game back, I come back and I did my ankle ligaments, so it wasn't the best in that sort of sense. But after I got fit after that, I got into some pretty decent form and won a starting place in the team, and we went and played for the England Knights at the end of the season. So the back end was good, from a personal point of view, and I'm hoping just to build on that now and hopefully stay injury free, this season.
Did you want the season to keep on going?
Yeah, that was weird. All the other guys were pretty busted. They'd been playing about 30 odd games, and I'd probably played about 15, probably even less than that. And I was still, fresh. I was still, willing to turn up and play. And my body wasn't really feeling the effects of a long season because of the sort of mini break that I had. So yeah, I could have played for a bit longer as well, but it was just unfortunate the season ended when it did. You
were one of the first guys I interviewed when I joined the club in 2007. You seem to have been around for forever. Do you feel like you've been around forever?
Maybe not now forever, but it's nice to be around for this sort of time. Just been able to play with some great players who've come and gone over the years. Paul Clough, Willie Talao, Kieran Cunningham, Paul Anderson, Sean Long. All these sort of players. When you think, in such and such, I've played with them. And now they're not here anymore. So obviously, I've been here for a while now, and obviously I want to stay here as well. So just looking for a good season this year, and hopefully win myself a new contract.
So have you seen anything different in pre-season so far? You've been through about 300, so anything new? Or?
It's getting a lot more scientific now. Obviously, we do a lot of work with the universities, with the sports science departments, because in all sorts of sports, in cycling, in all the top-notch R.F.C fighters, boxing, the difference between winning and losing is so small, and every little sort of 1% effort, or a little improvement that you can gain from your diet, your nutrition, your recovery, your fitness, then teams are willing to take that on board, and that's certainly happened here. Things have got a lot more scientific, a lot more stuff behind it, and that's so you can see the benefits on the pitch with the players.
I believe you hit the hills at the weekend. You weren't part of the team that read the map upside down, were you?
No. I think it was Gary Wheeler and his merry bunch of men there. They put them, at the start of the session they give them a map and they said, this is where we are, this is the motorway, so you can get your bearings and that. And I think Wheels put it the wrong way around, and they spent about 45 minutes going in the wrong direction, and Safe said that they came last. But it was a good session, out there on the hills and that, and really beneficial.
Do you enjoy that side of it? Do you enjoy the kind of fitness side of it, or do you prefer the more kind of weights based stuff?
I enjoy all of it. It's the best job in the world. I'd much rather be doing this even when it's hard than going working 9 to 5 in an average job. It does get tough sometimes. There's highs and lows. In anything, in any aspect of life. But I wouldn't. I want to be doing this for as long as possible and at the highest level. Until my body won't let me.
It certainly looked it. They've had the rub of the green there, Saints.
Came off a Rovers player, I think. Here's Pulatua, gets the ball away to Clough. And Clough gets away from the defenders, and Clough gets over the line. Has he got the ball down? He claims that he has.
And you've seen 2 out of 3 new signings. What do you think of Anthony and Mark?
Yeah, both really good blokes, both come in, and I know where he goes. Happy, to roll the sleeves up and dig in and get stuck in, and that's all you want. Lance is coming over, I think, tomorrow or pretty soon, and by all accounts he's a seasoned pro and a professional, so he'll fit straight in. One thing about St.Helens is very, very, very rarely they ever sign anyone who's not up to the sort of calibre. Obviously Eamon and they're very good at judges of character, and they always pick the right people, and that's sort of been the trade by Saints, probably since Super League began, and hopefully that'll keep continuing, with these 3 new signings. And Josh Perry missed a lot of time last year, as did myself, so it's like having 5 new signings in some senses, if you look at it from that point of view. So hopefully we can just keep everyone fit and keep the competition for places, and hopefully be in a good position.
And finally, the most cliched question I can come up with, really, you know, what are you thinking of the new season, new stadium? Are you excited about it?
Oh, I'm very excited. We went and trained there last week, and you know, it's amazing. People say it's amazing to me before I even went. I was like, yeah, I was a bit sceptical, you know, how good can it be? But you know, it is very, very good, and hopefully, I mean, as long as the fans fit it out and we get a really good following behind us, and you know, make it into like a mini fortress like Nosey Road was. You know, one thing you knew about Nosey Road was that teams were turning up there and they didn't want to play us there because the crowd were hostile, and you know, we were always so good there, and that's what we've got to do, you know, now at Langtree Park, and hopefully, you know, get a few good wins off at the start of the season, and we can build some momentum.